is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
Good evening, I'm Rafael Sanchez, and now at 7, a live look outside. As you can see, very cloudy on the Storm Team 6 alert day. More storms and flooding are possible as cities and towns across our state clean up in the aftermath of at least 9 tornadoes that touched down over the weekend. Wind damage now, of course, is left behind some big losses, and now all eyes are on the rivers and the creeks. Kevin Gregory threatening to jump their banks due to the continuous rain. What can we expect for the next couple of hours?
We've had very heavy rain in spots. That's starting to inch its way toward the state line with Kentucky and Ohio. We'll get more into that in a second. There's one warning down along the Ohio River. No warnings in central Indiana. There's the intense thunderstorm, and I'm squeezing the area where additional severe weather is possible, kind of southeastern portions, southeast of Greensburg, that would be a little more likely. 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail. That was a strong storm that moved through North Vernon to Versailles. Will widen this widespread rain from Indy east to Richmond. I'll mention, and you see it here to the north, some of these showers and thunderstorms that develop, we may have for a brief period some funnel clouds that form as the shower or thunderstorm is forming itself from a non-severe event. They're unlikely to touch the ground. Some calls have been coming in as a result of that, so just keep that in mind. You may see funnel clouds briefly until the rain kind of sweeps that away. Western Indiana, not much happening. The action to the south and east, and through the evening hours, temperatures will be steady in this humidity. Rain cooled in 68 in Columbus, 72 in Indy. Between 9 and 11, we start to calm everything down. We'll talk about the recipe for the rest of the week, when additional heavy rain is most likely. We'll do that coming up.
Kevin, thank you. Our weather coverage now continues with Call 6 Investigates, looking into something that many people did not hear during Saturday's Twisters. In Beech Grove, the sirens went off 40 minutes after the first tornado that touched down and damaged those buildings.
Then the sirens go off, telling us to get to safety, and we all joked about it and laughed about it, like, oh, thanks for the warning. And realistically, if it had been a worse tornado, then people could have gotten really hurt because there was no siren.
So what happened? Call 6 learned that Marion County sirens are managed and operated by IMPD's Homeland Security Bureau. They use 4 computers across the county to set off those sirens. IMPD says the computer located at Marion County's Emergency Operations Center is usually the one that controls the sirens. But because the center does not operate 24 hours a day, IMPD says it was under the control of the Marion County Sheriff's Office dispatch when the tornadoes hit. Call 6 reached out to the Marion County Sheriff's Office for a response. We have yet to hear back. With more rain in the forecast, some people living on the city's east side, they're worried that their homes are going to flood once again. Several homes have basement floor drains connected to the city sewer system. So when the system is overloaded with water, the drains, they can't do their job. A Citizens Energy crew checked out the problem and says the drains worked, quote, as expected. To avoid future backups, homeowners were told to install a backwater valve to prevent water from getting into their homes.
I don't think it's good enough because neighbors have done that, and that it just moves down the street. The next neighbor has a problem, then the next neighbor has a problem. Until everyone knows that that has to be installed, and it's an expensive installation too, it'll continue to be a problem.
If this happens to your home, you're asked to reach out to Citizens Energy's call center. It will be investigated, and they may send a sewer maintenance crew out if needed to check things out. And there is water everywhere. Let's check out throughout the Midwest. People living in Northeast Ohio are also asking local leaders to fix their flooding issues. The city of Barberton was hit hard by rain, as you can see, nearly 3.5 inches over 2 days. One woman who recently had knee surgery was rescued from her home by neighbors. Residents living nearby say they were frustrated because they've been through other damaging floods and nothing has been fixed. The mayor there says the city has been trying to help by clearing storm sewers and retention ponds more often. There is more flooding problems in Spence County, Kentucky, where search crews have found a man's body after he drove over a bridge covered by water. His wife and their 2 children were also in that vehicle. They were heading home from a Father's Day celebration Sunday when they were just swept away by the strong currents of the water. The woman and kids were rescued alive. The man did not survive. Their vehicle has not been found. Stick with RTV6 as we expect more storms and rain throughout the week. You can download the Storm Shield app to get instant alerts about watches and warnings. And you can also find everything you need right now for free on the RTV6 app. In more news tonight, Indiana is making some headway in the battle against the opioid epidemic, especially when it comes to prescriptions. A national report out this month says that opioid prescriptions have decreased more than 35% over 5 years. That's higher than the national average decrease of 33%. Indiana's legislature passed a law back in 2017 that requires doctors to write prescriptions for no more than a 7-day supply of an opioid when first prescribing to a patient. One of Indiana's fastest growing communities is building a new location for its police. The Whitestown Police Department broke ground today on its new headquarters. The $3 million facility will be more than 21,000 square feet with room for training facilities and will become Boone County's only computer forensics lab.
This is the direction law enforcement is going to wind up going. You'll always have that need for the beat officer or the investigator street level to go out, but cybercrime is what's becoming the future investigative tool.
Right now, the police department is operating out of the Whitestown Municipal Complex. The police chief says the new building will be able to accommodate the future growth of Whitestown and its police department. The first floor will be completed immediately, and a second story will be finished as needed. The department plans to add 4 new officers next year. Take a look at Indiana's new licenses and ID cards designed to keep your information safe. The Bureau of Motor Vehicles showed off these new cards today. They include new security features, a design that's easier to read, and an Indiana-focused design. All branches should have the new cards available by mid-July. The BMV says your old ID is still perfectly safe, so you don't have to run out and get a new one. The crowded field of Democratic presidential candidates is getting ready for their first debate as we look at Democracy 2020. While President Trump is preparing to officially kick off his re-election campaign. He'll be in Orlando, Florida for a rally tomorrow, along with the First Lady and Vice President Mike Pence. Political strategists see that part of Florida as key to winning the White House. Now, right after the kickoff rally, the president will then head off to Miami to raise money. People will pay between $100,000 and $250,000 for lunch and a picture with the president. A major health store chain looking to break the chains of addiction among kids tempted by e-cigarettes. The price tag behind that effort.
And numerous showers and thunderstorms, all moving from southwest to northeast. I'll tell you what to look for, especially just north of Indy through the evening coming up.
Trust Kevin Gregory and Storm Team 6. This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
The CVS is seeking to reduce the use of e-cigarettes. It's become a challenge as it seems the product is growing in popularity among kids. So CVS says it's investing $10 million to try to reverse the e-cigarette trend and, quote, deliver the nation's first tobacco-free generation. The money will help create classroom-based programs and help clinics get the resources that they need to address e-cigarette use and cover training on it. And that's just step one. CVS says it has a 5-year initiative that will cost $50 million when it's all said and done. In a report released in February, the CDC and the FDA estimated that there were 1.3 million more teens using tobacco between 2017 and 2018. And they say that's all linked to e-cigarettes and vaping. A new study says cosmetic products send more than 4,600 kids to the ER every year. That includes things like shampoo, nail polish, and perfume. The study released in the journal Clinical Pediatrics says that ER visits because of cosmetics have stayed consistent for 15 years. Nail polish remover was the most common offender, and products like hair relaxers required long-term treatment most often. According to the study, cosmetics killed 7 kids from 1999 to 2005. So what can you do to keep your child safe? Experts say child-proof your home. Keep those dangerous products in their original containers, high on a shelf, and also possibly out of sight. It's a growing problem for people nationwide of all ages, rising student loan debt. Now members of Congress are set to take action on this serious issue. They're introducing legislation to eliminate debt for millions of Americans. Corey Rangel gives you a closer look at the plan.
At the age of 63, Cheryl Medina wanted to be focused on planning for her retirement. Instead, she worries about paying her bills, especially her student loans, which she says have gotten bigger despite her $200 a month payments.
It's $27,000. That is actually higher than I remember it ever being. So, I think that I am paying, interest only.
After getting divorced 20 years ago, Cheryl went back to school, hoping a college degree would improve her job prospects. Now she thinks she'll have to delay her retirement and work longer because of this debt, which at this point, Cheryl admits she'll probably take to the grave with her.
To be able to afford the payments, it's not going to be paid off when I pass away.
While most people think student loan debt is a young person's problem, more than 3 million people over 60 are paying off college loans. In the coming weeks, Senator Elizabeth Warren and Representative James Clyburn will introduce legislation to eliminate up to $50,000 in student loan debt for 42 million Americans. They claim this will provide relief to 95% of borrowers and would wipe out debt entirely for 75% of borrowers.
It's now the case that we are crushing an entire generation. There is so much student loan debt outstanding right now that it's starting to affect every other part of the economy.
Warren says the proposed plan would be paid for by a 2% yearly tax on the richest 75,000 families in the country who have at least $50 million in net worth. In Washington, D.C., I'm Corey Rangel reporting.
Time now to check your forecast, and of course, all eyes are on this week's forecast in the sense of rain and strong winds. I know that there's a creek behind my house, Kevin, as you know. I keep a close eye on that one.
I think this is interesting. So if you get real nervous about this, there's a way that you can follow along and I think maybe calm your nerves a little bit, and it is our free Storm Shield app. It puts you in charge. It will send advisories, warnings right to your phone. It is free, and you also have control of the radar, so you can zoom in and see how the storms are moving either toward you or away from you. Again, a free Storm Shield app. It's a weather radio for your phone. Numerous flash flood warnings anywhere from between Bloomfield to Bedford, and then from Brownstown on through Greensburg and Columbus on the south side. We have thunderstorms most intense in the southeast portion of the state. These are about ready to exit. We see widespread rain Shelbyville, Rushville to Greenfield, over to Newcastle and Richmond, non-severe, just widespread rain. Now, I'll mention this. We have all these different boundaries as some thunderstorms fade away and then others redevelop. We've had some funnel clouds that have been reported developing as the shower thunderstorm does. They're unlikely to reach the ground. I've seen a few pictures of these, and some counties may activate the sirens, but they're unlikely to reach the ground. Doesn't mean they can't. It just means they're unlikely, so we'll watch that. Temperatures, 74 in Peru, 72 in Indianapolis, rain-cooled, and 68 down in Columbus. Between 9 and 11, we'll calm everything down. We'll go through this again during the day tomorrow, but I think overall tonight, through the overnight, it will be quiet. Chance for rain is greatest Wednesday, perhaps the more intense storms as well Wednesday into Wednesday night. We'll have to watch that, especially southern half of the state. Notice Friday right now, chance for rain pretty much non-existent, a dry day. Can look forward to that. Temperatures upper 70s to around 80 tomorrow. Thunderstorms redevelop in the afternoon, especially southern half of the state. Boy, is it humid, and that's not going to change. 7 a.m., not much happening there. Your thunderstorms in the afternoon into the evening. Southern half of the state most likely to see that activity. Anytime it rains, it could all outpour. There are your thunderstorms developing Wednesday afternoon. 7-day forecast, watch what happens. Temperatures consistently around 80 until Saturday. Warmest day at 86. Overnight lows around 70. Rain chances almost daily.
Kevin, thank you so much. Still ahead, the soldier rising through the ranks in the civilian world. The benefits helping him and many others on the job. That and much more all ahead on Hiring Hoosiers, only on RTV6.
$10,000 furniture giveaway, Ashley Home Store.
Hiring Hoosiers. Hoosiers, RTV6's commitment to connect you to jobs and training opportunities. The Conrad Hotel right here in downtown Indianapolis has played a significant role in attracting tourists to our city since it's opened its doors back in 2006. RTV6's Amanda Starantino shows us how a job at the Conrad is more than just a paycheck.
So what else does he need?
Tony Maneely spends his days at the Conrad Indianapolis as the security manager, but he also works outside of these walls as well.
I'm a corrections specialist for the Indiana National Guard.
Hilton Hotels allows Maneely to serve our country with a strong sense of job security for not only him, but his family too.
If I make less money in the military than I do working here, then Hilton covers that difference on pay so that you don't have a hardship while you're deployed.
The differential pay helped cover for his wife's insurance while he was serving.
They were actually able to help build the resources even while I was gone for me to come back and have a really strong and even stronger team than when I left for security. While I was gone, I would have been eligible for then a pay raise for my year of being here. And so they treated it as if I was not even gone. They still did that review, they still looked at that pay raise, and they still were able to then make that happen.
And along with its benefits, working at the Conrad has offered a career ladder for Maneely.
I've grown. So I started out as the lead security officer here in 2012 and then kind of moved up to a supervisor level and then eventually became the security manager here at the Conrad as well.
Having a job at the Conrad is just the beginning for your career growth. Like Tony's stories, there's plenty of opportunities in different departments, like here in the kitchen, to work your way up to your career goals. The Conrad employs 200 team members. Kara Uli has been with Hilton for 7 years. Hilton is ranked #1 in the U.S. by Fortune magazine for 2019's 100 Best Places to Work.
I think our benefits packages are a part of that. We have great health and wellness benefits, but there's also a really keen focus from Hilton on financial well-being for all of our team members.
These benefits include retirement planning, tuition reimbursement, school debt assistance, generous leave time packages, paid maternity and parental leave, commuting assistance, complimentary meals, and travel benefits. Uli says the Conrad prides itself in hiring Hoosiers that want to represent the Circle City.
Our guest service agents, banquet servers who work in our catering and events areas. We're hiring in the culinary department, so people who want to build a career in the kitchen, it's a great place to get started and potentially grow and see the world as a culinarian. And then we are always hiring in heart of house positions as well, housekeeping and laundry, the people who really kind of keep the hotel going. Those are really important roles.
That was Amanda Starantino reporting. If you have the travel bug, a job with Hilton, which owns the Conrad, might be perfect just for you. An employee favorite benefit is Go Hilton, which is a deeply discounted travel program for all Hilton employees. To learn more about the jobs at Hilton properties across central Indiana, head to our website, hiringhoosiers.com, and be sure to join us tomorrow on Good Morning Indiana beginning at 6 a.m. as we take a look at the jobs of the week right here in the heart of the city. The Postal Service is looking to fill positions that could lead to a long-term career. It is holding a job fair in Columbus in Bartholomew County on June the 29th. Current employees will be there to walk you through completing an application. The Postal Service has ongoing openings for rural carriers, a position that pays $17.78 an hour. The job requires 2 years of driving experience, a clean driving record as well, and those carrier positions come with limited benefits but can lead to a full-time career with the Postal Service. Again, that job fair, Saturday the 29th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Columbus Post Office. A new facility bringing more than 150 jobs to Indiana is now officially open. Governor Holcomb was in Richmond today for the grand opening of the new Blue Buffalo manufacturing facility. This is the company's second pet food manufacturing plant in the U.S. It will make food for the Heartland pet food brand and bring in 165 new jobs. There are less than 2 weeks left to apply for that program we've highlighted on this program many times. I'm talking about the 21st Century Scholars Program, which provides income-eligible Hoosier students with up to 4 years of college tuition. A big part of that application process needs to be done by June the 30th. So come on, you still have some time. Students in grades 8 through grade 8 have a deadline. It can sneak up on you, so get that done as soon as possible. All the information on how to apply for the 21st Century Scholarship Program on our website, hiringhoosiers.com, under the Career Resources section. The News at 7 continues right after this.
You are simply the best.
Florida divers set a world record over the weekend, but the real purpose was an effort to clean up the ocean. 633 divers took a dip off Deerfield Beach to collect trash from the ocean floor. The final tally of all the garbage expected to come in around 3,200 pounds. They broke a Guinness World Record in the process to become the largest group of people to do an underwater cleanup. A lot of trash in that water, but of course, good people doing all the efforts. Kevin?
Let me show you one of the funnel clouds that the viewers have reported to the north. This comes from Indiana Weather Online in Delaware County. I think isolated funnel clouds unlikely to reach the ground, especially north of Indy.
Have a good evening. We'll keep an eye on the radar throughout the evening on the RTV6 app.